am so glad to be back. I've been taking a little bit of a hiatus, enjoying the family, enjoying spending time with them. But I am back and I'm excited to just kind of break the ice into summer and talk about budgeting in this series that we're calling Tell Your Money What to Do. Okay. Tell your money what to do. I want to help you to do that. For those of you who don't know, me and my husband live a debt-free lifestyle. We have zero debt to our name except our house. That's it. We don't pay car payments. We don't have any other payments that we're paying except our mortgage. And so we understand how freeing that's been for our finances, how helpful it's been to live within our means, how it's helped us to be able to be givers at times. It's helped us to also be able to save for expenditures, emergencies, things like that. And I honestly believe that God blesses those who manage their money well. I want to help you to be able to budget. I've asked around, we've kind of broken the ice a little bit on this page and talked a little bit about budgeting, but I want to help you just like go right in, dive right in and help you learn how to build a budget. I've taken the Dave Ramsey class and I love Dave Ramsey. I love all the things that he shares. But just to take that class, that financial peace class, one step further, I really want to help you to learn how to budget your monthly expenses. In America, we often have a lot of debt, and sometimes we need to pay off those things so that we can get to a place where we have zero debt and we can live within our means and we can be able to be a blessing to those, not just in giving gifts, because really that's not that important, but be able to bless and give those organizations or be able to do it ourselves and be able to bless others that are in need. So lo and behold, let's get to it and let me help you tell your money what to do. Let's get with it. So first of all, Dave Ramsey's budgeting style is a zero-based budget. It's like $0. Everything adds together to equal zero when you're done with your budget, right? The form that you tell your money what to do. That means that your income, how much money you make every month, is at first. Then you minus all of your expenses, everything that you spend your money on, your debt, your clothing, your electricity, your car, your gas, your food, your fun, right? And then that should all equal zero. And the reason why is because you want to tell your money what to do. You don't want it to tell you what to do. You want to tell your money exactly where it goes, or else you will lose it. That's the whole idea in this, and why we budget. Why if you get to the end of the month and you're like, I don't know where my money went. I don't know what's happening. It's not making it. My money is not making it to the end of the month. Then you need to change your habits and you need to really assess that. And by building a budget and working on it each month, you're going to learn where you can cut and where you need to move some money to. And I will say this up front. This is not something that you do one time and then you figure it out after 1 month and you just do whatever you want. No, this is something that you need to get into the practice of doing each and every month. Every month, the end of the month, the last day of the month. So actually I'm recording this, it's the last day of June. So when you get to the end of the month, then you need to look at this, you need to reassess and set your budget for the next month. At the end of July, you need to sit down and you need to go, okay, what worked, what didn't work, let's make some changes, and then reassess for August. And every month, as you begin to do that every month, it's a pain. I agree. I hate these budget meetings, but I am seeing the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding. When we've been able to save off and pay for things, it feels great. It's accomplished things. I know that if something was to happen to me, my kids are not going to have to pick up any debt, or there's not going to be like, what's going to happen with that? I know where my money is going. I know that I'm able to make the most of my money and be able to save it and give it to where I want it to go instead of it telling me what it's going to do. So when you start this game, just know that you're in it for the long run. This is a habit you're creating. You're creating a healthy financial habit that will continue to help you for years to come. It's worth it. You can spend 30 minutes at a time each month, or maybe an hour when it's uber complicated. But You need to do it. The best way to learn where your money is going is to use cash. So you'll notice when you print off this form, this budget form, that there's envelopes. There's little envelopes next to certain categories. And that is because you should use cash for those categories. When you use cash to pay for clothing items or grocery or your fun or your entertainment, and you feel that money burning through, and you're looking at this stack that used to be $100 and now it's like $25 and you still have a week left, you feel it. It makes you want to like, ooh, I don't know if I should have it. So cash is best. If you can get in the habit of using cash for those like things that you're spending money on all the time. So your clothes, your entertainment, your food, your fun, that kind of stuff, then you absolutely should. If you don't, because I understand that this culture does not like cash. If you don't like cash, it's fine to use your debit card. But what you should do is you should get a notes app on your phone. I like Google Keep. I use it on my Android. I've used it on my iPhone. It works well. Google Keep, when you get in the car, let's say from Walmart, you can make a little note. Hey, I spent $10 on my daughter's clothing, and then I spent $35 on groceries. So my whole bill is $45, but it doesn't all go to groceries. Some of it goes to Vera's clothing. And the reason why you want to make that notation is that oftentimes, and I'm the worst at this, don't ask my husband, we wait till, once a week or once every couple weeks, we sit down and we look at our online banking and it'll say Walmart, and we're like, I don't remember what I bought. I'll just put it in groceries. But really, we spent $10 on food or $10 on clothing. So that could have gone to clothing instead of all going to grocery, and it's eating up our grocery bill. So there's a lot of stores like that. Target's like that. Walmart's like that. I'm sure you can think of other ones that you go to that you could divide it up into the other categories and split it, but you need to make sure and make those notations. I guess the other thing you could do would be to save your receipts. I'm not great at that, but you could do that. Save your receipts, highlight what goes to what category, so you can make sure, and again, tell your money what to do. Don't let it tell you what to do. When you're creating this budget, and we're going to get to how next, but when you're creating this budget, there is the most important thing that you need to make sure is covered before you take care of anything else, and that is your four walls. Where you live, how you eat, what you're driving to and from work. That is the most important thing. So your food, your utilities, your rent, your transportation. Those are your four walls, the most important things that you need to make sure that are covered and that are within your means. Step on some toes here, but sometimes we're living outside of our means. Sometimes our car payment is more than we should be spending just because whatever reason. And it's eating away money that could go to food or money that could go to something. So you might need to reassess. You need to keep that in mind. You might need to reassess some things. We might need to find a better apartment that's cheaper. It might not be exactly where we want it to be and have the bougiest, accessories inside. But if it fits the bill, that's what matters. Let's get to this budget. First of all, the first thing you do if you're writing notes, is print the form. This form is made available to you right here. I'll leave it in the comments. It's at pushwomen.com. You can print this out. It's a budget form. It is a monthly budget form. I know you cannot read all the little things, but trust me, it's here. You can put the month. It has income, expenses, savings, and your total. Now I'm going to tell you how to fill this out right now. Before you do that, first of all, print the forms. Second of all, you need to get your online banking information. So you need to log on to your bank on your computer and see where you're spending your money, what you're spending money on. If you need to print it. Look at your debt. How many credit cards do you have? You want exact dollar amounts. That's really going to help you to tackle it. So pull out your debt, your credit card statements, so you can make sure to add that to this as well. Any other income, your paychecks, especially if they're changing all the time. You want to gather all of that information when you sit down for this budget meeting. So your personal budget meeting or with your husband budget meeting. And you want to put all of this in this form. Number 3, we're going to fill it out, okay? You're going to fill it out. You're going to start with income, and you're going to put your income. How much money are you making a month? If you make a salary, that's great. That's easy. You're going to put that in here. If you're hourly, then you want to take your average amount of hours that you work per month. So if you normally work 20 hours a week, Then you're going to take that, how many weeks are in this month, okay? And you're going to put that as your income. If you need help with that, I would love to help you. Message me. I will help you figure it out. I know we have some young people on here, and it is a little, it's an extra step. You got to do some math to figure out what's my average amount of money that I'm making every month that's guaranteed to me every month. You want to put that in there. If you have any other income, if you have any other child support or spousal support or any of that income, then you want to put that in the other income part of here. Then we're going to move down into expenses. So you want to start writing out, what are you spending on your mortgage? What are you spending on your like household maintenance stuff? Taxes, insurance, electricity, sewage. Some of these things are going to be really easy to plug in. I got the bill. I know what this is. For us, the city of Clovis gets a utility bill every other month. So what we've done is we've taken the utility bill, split it in, divided it, and that's how much money we save every month in that category, so that every other month there is enough money there to make sure it's there. But we're saving every month. I'm not waiting every other month to pay a big bill. I'm dividing it into two bills, dividing that one bill into two payments, one payment in this month, one payment in that month. Again, I'm not paying it early because it's utilities. It's not accruing interest or anything, but I am making sure that I am allotting that money every month to go towards that. Cable, cell phone, groceries. How much money do you spend on groceries? Well, I don't know. How much money should I spend? It should be about $50 to $75 a person in your household per week. $100 is $100 a month. $400 a month going to cover it? Probably not. So depending on how many people you have in your household. So I'll figure out what that needs to be. If you need to guess at it the first month and then readjust it for the second month, that's fine. Entertainment. Well, I'm not going to do anything this month. Yes, but do you have anything coming up? Do you have a Disneyland trip coming up? Then you want to start breaking that down. So how much money do you need to save for your Disneyland ticket in 6 months or 4 months? You know, you need to save $100 a month for your Disneyland trips. You need to put that in there so that you can keep it growing. Donations is on here. I also wrote giving at the bottom of the form because that is a priority. Make sure it's highlighted. It's a different color. Make sure that you're giving. Fuel, auto insurance, car payment, childcare, credit cards, debt. Make sure you're putting an exact dollar amount for your debt on there. How much is this debt? We'll talk more specifically about debt in another video, but right now you just need to look at what is my income, what is my expenses, how much am I saving? And savings is the next category. How much are you saving? Retirement, college, basic, what are you saving? How much money is in there? How much money are you going to put in there? And at the end of this, it's going to take you a minute. It really is, to figure out what each line item needs to be. I think I mentioned earlier, each month in my budget, in our budget, we have a place for our kids. So if that's something you want to do, turn the form around, write, okay, this is kid number 1, kid number 2, kid number 3, any expenses that come up. So for us, any expenses, if they have clothing needs or an extra activity, it comes out of that month. So we used to do all kids the same amount, but I have an older kid who's a little bit more expensive. So his budgeted amount every month has come up a little bit to try to cover his costs. So that way, when there's a camp or something, there's a little bit of money in there that we could put towards that. Loans, life insurance, health insurance, clothing. You know, you don't want to go shopping and spend $200 on brand new school clothes. That's like a hard thing to pay in August. But if you start chipping away at it right now and putting $50, $50 or $60, $60, you're going to have a little bit of money set aside to be able to cover that bill. Child support, giving, savings, all of this. So then what you want to do is you want to tally this. You want to take your income, put that in your calculator, and then add up all of your expenses. Well, what are your expenses total? Okay. And your savings, that's an expense as well because it's going somewhere, and minus it. What you want is you want to take your income minus all the money that you're spending and where you're putting your savings, and it should equal 0. If you have any money left over, then you need to tell that money where to go. If you're paying debt off, pay debt off. Pay debt off, pay debt off. Pay your debt off early. Pay it off early, because then you're going to pay less money in interest. And we can talk about that in another video, how to do that. But you want to get your income minus your expenses minus your savings account. And what does that look like? Hey, Jessica, how much money should we be spending in each of these categories? Let me tell you what Dave says, okay? This is just a rule of thumb. This is not a science per se. You have to be right on top of these numbers. No, but this is what you want to do. You want to give. You want to be a giver. You want to make money so that you can be a giver. And I believe that being a giver blesses you. God can trust you with his money. So you want to give. We believe 10%. You want to give God the first fruits, the first 10%. And above that, if you feel led to. And above that, I'll just say that again. So 10% at least goes to giving. And then 10% to savings. So if you're making $1,000 a month, then $100 goes to giving. I'm going to give that to the church as my tithe. And then I'm going to save 10%. So I'm going to take $100. I'm going to put it in my savings account. I'm not going to touch that. And then the rest of the $800 that I have left, I'm going to make sure that I can cover my expenses with that. What are my expenses? If I need to change something, then I need to change something. If I need to be eating out less and going to less restaurants and picking up more groceries, then I need to do that. If I need to change the entertainment that I'm doing and just take my kids to a park rather than, a $15 or $18, I think I heard it was the other night, to go to the movies, then I need to readjust some things. Be a good steward of the things that God is giving you. God is giving you your job. God is giving you your finances. You want to be a good steward of those finances so that God can continue to bless you. Why would you give money, continually give money, financial blessings to people who throws it away or wastes it or puts it on the ground, or, they're just running up all these internet charges, subscription charges that they forget about? No, we want to give money to those that are responsible with their money so they can make the most with that money, so they can be bigger givers and bigger tithers. Dave Ramsey always says, live like no one else today. So live within your means, live within your resources so you can save. And maybe you can't buy your boat. You can't buy a boat today on credit, but you can save. Then you can buy a boat with cash, nothing hanging over your head, nobody owed to anybody else. You've worked hard, you've earned it, and it's not something that's hanging over your head like debt. So live like no one else today so you can live like no one else tomorrow. And you can live a life of blessings and have the luxuries that you want because you've saved and you've lived for that. So that is how to build a budget. Again, this form is online. You can print it out, putting the link right in the video below. But tell your money what to do, friends. After this week, I'm going to give you some helpful tools. There's some apps that you can use. We're going to talk about debt. We're going to talk about all these other things. But if you have any other questions that maybe I haven't addressed, or you've got a specific thing, you can DM me, you can message me, you can write a comment below here. But you can, and you should, write questions. Keep the conversation going so we can continue to help. You're probably not the only one who has the question. So let me go down the list again. How to create a budget. Number 1, print the forms. Number 2, get your online banking stuff. Get all of your information together. Number 3, fill it in. And then number 4, stick with it. Stick with this. This is not going to be something you do one month and you see the results. You need to do this and readjust and readjust and readjust and readjust each and every month so that you can begin to get a better grip on your finances. I think it took us at least a year to really figure out what our spending was as a couple because we had different spending habits. And even now, there's like months that we have to whip it back into shape and get it back together. So you're going to be able to reassess. Here's something I have to cover. On this form, it says budget amount. That's the amount that you're going to budget this month. At the end of the month, you're going to bring this form back to yourself at the end of the month. You're going to look at it and you're going to say, ooh, how much did I actually spend? I only allotted $400 for groceries, but I really spent $550 for groceries. Then you want to write down, ooh, what's the difference? Okay, that's $150. Is that like, was I spending too much on groceries? Can I reassess that? Can I change it? Whatever you need to do, write the notes, make the adjustments. Dude, if you can save more and live on a few more ramen noodles so you can pay off your debt and get done with debt faster, do it. You're living like no one else today. You're not going out with everybody, but you're not going to be in debt. You're not going to be hammered. If something was to happen, listen, emergencies happen all the time. People lose their job. COVID happens, okay? Things happen in life that are outside of our control. The only thing that we can do is be financially prepared for an emergency. Dave talks about this, and we'll talk about this over the next few weeks, but about saving for an emergency fund, $1,000 emergency fund, and then saving for your savings, making sure that you're taken care of. That if you or your husband or your loved one was about to lose their job, could you survive for a few months while you looked for another job? That's the place we want you to be in, and I want to help you to get there and save for Christmas, right? So, okay, I will see you next week for another session of Tell Your Money What to Do. All right, see you next time. Bye.